Hello, and welcome in. I understand that you are here to see me today for a tarot card reading. Is that correct? Good. Excellent. Yes, I am a master of reading the tarot. I've been doing it for nearly 10 years now. And while the tarot cannot predict the future, it can shine a light on possibilities, opening your mind to new opportunities, new ways of thinking, and perhaps shine a light on a path not yet considered. Now, I understand that some skepticism is natural at this point in the journey, especially if this is your first time with the tarot cards. However, I think that you might find that the illumination that these cards can reveal in one's own mind and psyche can be quite rewarding in and of itself. Sometimes we don't know what it is we want until we face the possibility of getting it or not getting it. When you flip a coin to make a decision, while that coin is in the air, you suddenly realize which outcome you're quietly rooting for. Exactly. Good. I'm glad that we are aligned. Now, let me get my deck. Tarot cards are always meant to be kept in a cloth or a fabric wrapping, never to be too tightly bound so as to not constrict the connection between the cards and oneself. The deck is divided into two main categories: the major arcana cards and the minor arcana. The minor arcana are divided further still into four suits, much like your average deck of playing cards. The suits in the minor arcana are swords, cups, pentacles, and wands, each with their own unique meaning, but many cards can mean many different things depending on where in your progression they fall. Yes, reading of the tarot cards is much more than just shuffling a deck and pulling a few cards and saying, "Ah, yes, this is what my life is meant to be." No, no, no. Reading the cards is complex. The story that we built today, the possible outcome that you are looking for or not looking for, that is quite complex indeed. Further still, a card can have almost entirely the opposite meaning if it is pulled upside down or reversed. Today we will be doing a 7-card spread, where after we shuffle the deck, we will have you draw 7 cards. The first of which will reflect your distant past. The first of which will reflect your distant past. The second, your more recent past. The next 3 will all reflect your present self. Where are you right now? And then finally, your last 2 cards will speak towards your future. The first of which, your near future. The second of which, further out, beyond. Now, as I begin to shuffle the cards, it is important for you to think of a question. What is it that you want the tarot cards to answer? Yes, the more specific, the better. What am I going to do today? How is my week going? What can still be helpful? The tarot is more interested in the deeper questions. Now, I will ask that you cut the deck. Good. Good. And now, I will fan out the cards, and you will choose all 7 of your cards and place them on the table in front of you, in the order in which you drew them. Good. Don't think about the orientation or the placement of the cards that you pick. Where are you drawn to is the question. Question. Good. Good. Place them down, face down on the table. We will go through them shortly. Good. 2 more. Good. For the purposes of this exercise, we will now discard the remainder of the deck. Now, as I said before I read these cards to you, this is merely one possible outcome. The tarot is merely showing you a path. You do not have to follow this path. Perhaps the act of coming here today sets you down a different path. Or perhaps this is your true path, your destiny. Now, I will show you the card first, and then we will discuss. The Chariot card. One of the Major Arcana. As you can see here, it is reversed. Now, this is your most distant past. The Chariot is, well, it is a very powerful card when it is oriented properly. It reflects moving with great haste, setting a direction and knowing where you are going. Going from one city in the background, sure-footed, towards the next. However, as it stands, inverted often means losing track of your goal, losing sight of what you were going for originally. Perhaps you're lost, or yourself, or your navigator is untrustworthy. While this can mean a lot of things, I think part of this wandering, this feeling of being lost in your past, perhaps is why you are here today. Let's continue. Your second card, the more recent past. The Eight of Cups. Yes. This is a beautiful card indeed. See here the man with a staff in the ground, walking away from multiple stacked cups. This card is about seeking further exploration. Perhaps that's through adventure, through travel, or personal exploration. Internally, emotional, intellectual, psychological exploration. You're willing to leave behind the spoils you've found before in exchange for the unknown, a greater understanding, new perspective, perhaps. It makes sense to see an Eight of Cups following a reversed Chariot card. We felt lost. You felt lost. You felt lost. And you went out looking to find your way. Let us continue. Now, as we continue onward, we move into your present cards. These cards don't always have a particular order, although sometimes they do chart the path quite well. The first of your present cards the Eight of Wands. Curious. It's interesting for an Eight of Cups to be followed by an Eight of Wands. And a reversed Eight of Wands at that. An Eight of Wands, when presented right way around, is symbolic of acceleration, moving forward powerfully in the direction of your goals, knowing what you want and putting things in motion to do just that. you're not there yet. At your present, the Eight of Wands is inverted. Now what does this mean? That same acceleration, that same power can be overdone, overused, can lead to exhaustion and burnout. 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 You find yourself at the present overdoing it, perhaps trying too hard to reach your goals, whatever it is that they might be. And as it stands, while you are searching for meaning and exploration, it has yielded an exhaustion in the Eight of Wands. However, there's still much to reveal, and most importantly, the future is still unwritten. The next of your present day cards well, this is a good sign. The Moon card, right way up, I should mention. The Moon is another one of the major arcana. You can see here there is a lot of symmetry and dichotomy in this card. The moon itself is both full and crescent. A dog and a wolf both howl on opposite sides of a river. And the two stone pillars that frame the portrait, there are more than one thing happening here. There is always more than one thing happening. You contain multitudes. While you may be seeking, exploring, perhaps even lost, you also push forward, moving in the direction that you want to go. The moon is a signifier of change, a change in direction, a change of focus. What is it that you want to focus on? As we continue to read through the cards, I remind you to think of your question and how it pertains to the reading so far. I don't need to know the question, but it should inform how you're interpreting these cards. The last of your present cards the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is, well, the Ace of Wands is fresh air. The Ace of Wands is the beginning. One of the major pieces that make up the wands as a category in the minor arcana is their connection to creativity, spontaneity, individuality. The Ace of Wands is the new beginning to this creativity, embarking on a new journey, perhaps taking a leap of faith to follow a creative path, like starting an ASMR channel, perhaps. Just a thought. You can see here that the Ace of Wands holds the stick firmly, confidently. It knows that it can do what it wants to do. It has the confidence to say, yes, I can, and I will. I shall. I shall. I shall. After a rather challenging first 4 cards, I am excited to see such positivity in the final card of your present. Now, shall we look to the future? Again, reminder, this first card is your near future. I see. Well, that is rather encouraging. The Hanged Man is perhaps one of my most favorite cards. You can see here, the man hangs upside down, tied to the tree by the foot. He sees the world differently. He is willing to look foolish when he does so, experiencing things that no one in their right mind would do. But there's a confidence to it, a trusting of one's own intuition, a trusting of one's own perspective. There's a confidence in this card, in the Ace of Wands, that was lacking in your past. The upside down Chariot does not remain the same in light of the Hanged Man. Yes, it is often challenging to be steadfast and resolute in the face of challenge, particularly in eccentric ways, such as with the Hanged Man. But it is those eccentricities that make us who we are. It is that willingness to be seen as different that can set us apart. So far, your reading has been quite uplifting and inspiring, if I do say so myself. But we do have one card remaining. Your further distant future. The Seven of Cups. Perhaps a familiar scene after having experienced the Eight of Cups prior in your past. The Seven of Cups. You can see the figure in silhouette here, back to us, is amazed by the abundance of riches before them. Your cup quite literally runneth over. The Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is about inspiration, about finding what you are looking for, about knowing and learning and seeing. It, too, has a Ace of Wands. The new and unique perspective from the Hanged Man. You may never return to the wandering, meandering lostness from the reversed Chariot. You may never seek out like you did with the Eight of Cups. But there are more and plentiful bounties ahead, as well as the Seven of Cups so rightly indicates. When we move in the direction of our dreams, our desires, when we are confident and trust ourselves and our intuitions, when we are brave and we step out in the direction that we want to go, good things are waiting for us on the other side. It doesn't necessarily mean that it will be easy, and we do risk burning out along the way, which is why we need to take care of ourselves. We need to rest when we are tired. We need to not focus so much on work. Get a good night's sleep as we need it. Make time for ourselves to be creative. Give ourselves time to see what direction we want to go. And then we trust our intuition, we trust our inspiration, and we step out confidently in the direction of our dreams. Your reading today has been enlightening, eye-opening. I hope that you have found some clarity. I hope that you have found some answers to the question that you asked at the beginning. And should you need further clarification, should you want to learn more about your path, I would recommend returning 6 to 12 months from now for another reading, perhaps another of the 7-card variety, or one of the horseshoe readings that we do, which can help with particularly decision making. We may know the path we need to walk, but deciding on doing it is a whole another thing. But be brave. Be confident. Remember the Ace of Wands, the strength and resolute. The confidence of the Hanged Man. Inspiration shall come. Your spoils shall come. For now,